When I first heard about microcampus, I really wanted to take this opportunity to learn about something that I am fully passionate about. And so here I am in Xizhou, a proud member of the Wildfire 2019 group. We are here for 28 days to research a chosen topic of our high personal interest. I, without doubt, chose happiness. I have chosen to study happiness here in Xizhou because the notion of being content has always attracted me. I knew that I wanted to choose a topic that could help me understand the villagers' stories on a deeper level, and one that would keep me intrigued during the next 4 months of researching, and perhaps a topic that I would be passionate about for the rest of my life. With this purpose in mind, I chose happiness. For me, happiness has always been something so complex. Underneath it all, what does it really mean? And so, I began my month-long journey in an attempt to answer this complicated yet genuine question. Once I arrived, I had assumed that I would be learning about other people and their very own perception of happiness, and I did. I learned a great deal about how our minds work and the perspectives of others. However, looking back, I now know that although I learned a lot about the people here, this journey has led me to learn even more about myself. In order to understand how my definition of happiness has changed over time, one might consider my perspective of happiness before I came to Xizhou, during my time here in Xizhou, and 13 years from today. First, let us start off with before. I have spent the majority of my life in Shanghai, surrounded by dumplings and skyscrapers and fast-paced people. At a young age, I have always believed that the concept of happiness is extremely complicated. It is something hard to find, lost among the chaos in Shanghai. All the competitiveness, the intensiveness, the speed. But as a kid, I always found a certain type of joy in doing the things I love most. That comes down to traveling and writing. Being happy, truly happy and satisfied with my life, was something I aspired to be. Shanghai is such a big and developed city that oftentimes we lose ourselves in all this craziness and we assume the word happiness is equally crazy. I thought it was high above my reach, and only truly successful people could acquire such an honorable feeling of contentment. But although my definition of happiness was obscure back in Shanghai, I knew all along nonetheless that no matter where I am, happiness is home. And so growing up, happiness was factored down to love and home. And for a month, home changed for me. This is where during comes into play. During my time here in Xizhou, I left my home in Shanghai. I spent weeks researching and conversing with the villagers here. One of the very first person I talked to during my stay was Mr. He, a bicycle fixer sitting in a tiny alleyway reading a book. And during our conversation, when I asked him what image came to his mind when I said the word happiness, he said, water. When I asked him why, he said because water gives life to the world around us. It is life itself. And no matter what form water is in, people always recognize it. And on that first day of inquiry work, hearing a metaphor like that, I caught the first glimpse of happiness in this community. Talking to Mr. Yang, a well-known musician here in Xizhou, Mrs. Zhao, the restaurant owner of Old Town Snacks, Mr. Huang, the imam at the mosque here in Xizhou, Mr. Yang, an antique dealer, Miss Li, the front desk staff at the Linden Center, Mr. He, the artist, Mr. Zhang, another antique dealer here in Xizhou, and many, many more. Although none of them had exact same answers, their responses to my questions about what happiness is and what impacts our happiness the most all had consistent correlation. Many people answered major themes like family, work, passion, and mindset. Family revolved around their family members staying healthy, and if their family was happy, so were they. Many people also talked about work and the satisfaction they receive when they see their hard work pay off. Passion was also a huge factor that contributes to their happiness, as people feel great joy when it comes to pursuing their dreams. Lastly, mindset. Mindset was the main question I received, as people talked about how their attitude, definition, and mindset towards happiness determines whether or not they will actually achieve it. Mr. Yang smiled as he talked about his family and his love for music and his perspective, and I suppose in that moment, I truly understood how simple happiness can be. From bonding with the rest of the microcampus group, to listening to the stories of others, to smiling at a camera, to skipping rocks, to playing volleyball with your buddies, to eating the best popsicles in the world, to meeting new friends, to simply being here, I have come to the conclusion of what happiness really means to me. It is the combination of the little details in life. It is all the tiny little joys and the tiny little things that make your day. When you add them all together, you get happiness. Our entire life revolves around these tiny little details, and only when we notice them can we truly experience it. Finally, after. I am currently 13 years old, turning 14 in a short while. With this in mind, I started thinking about what happiness is going to look like 13 years from now when I'm 26 years old. I hope I will be doing work that I am passionate about, something I want to do for the rest of my life. I hope my family is healthy and happy and that they will be proud of me in the future. I hope that I am surrounded by a close group of friends, one that I can trust and lean on. I hope that I am surrounded by good food. This is a must. I hope that I'll get a puppy and that this puppy will grow old with me from then on. I hope that I'll be well on my way to completing my goal of traveling around the world. I hope that I will have read hundreds and hundreds of books. I hope that at age 26, I will be happy. But as of now, I will, hopefully, live in the moment. Whether it's my understanding of happiness before I came to Xizhou, during my time here in Xizhou, or 13 years from today, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Xizhou. Thank you to every single person that has ever influenced me in any way possible. You people, silly, crazy people out there, are truly the ones that make me happy. And I suppose that this is what happiness really looks like.